Hey traders from around the world, it's your boy Jeremy Alexander Newsom with your Friday real life stock review. And what I'm doing today is just simply give you guys an idea of what's been going on the last week and what's going on next week, at least in my opinion. Got a chance to fly out tomorrow early morning to Sacramento for a nice weekend rager in Lake Tahoe. Gonna enjoy the Super Bowl. And I want to make a really big announcement regarding the Super Bowl. So here's something I've never done before, but hey, I thought about it the other day while eating some Mexican food. So, the Super Bowl, someone's gonna win. Either Denver Broncos or the Carolina Panthers. I personally think it's gonna be the Carolina Panthers, 30-17. That's my thoughts. Anyway, here's the announcement. Whoever wins the Super Bowl, that is the state/city that I will be doing a meetup this year. So the next meetup that I go to will be the winner of the Super Bowl. So for example, if the Denver Broncos by some miracle win, then I'll be doing a meetup in Denver. If the Carolina Panthers win, then I'll be doing a meetup in Carolina, Charlotte. So probably March, April timeframe will be that meetup. So just giving you guys an idea, maybe April, probably mid-April. So just throwing that out there for anyone in Denver or Carolina. There you go. That's something that's to be interested in looking into the game. All right, so we got that. Second, let's talk stock market, shall we? Oh my goodness, what a last few days it has been. Good Googa Mooga. So this was our last Friday, was right here, January, and this was the first day of February where we broke above the 20, and then the very next day on the 2nd, boom, gorgeous new black crow, and that's when I had a bunch of bearish entries, a bunch of setups. I was really excited about the market rolling over, and it did make some nice lower lows the next day, but it had a giant hammer candle, and I was like, oh man, this might be a trapping candle. And then the next day, which was the 4th, here is pretty much my note. If we close above the high of Tuesday, edge is slightly bullish. So on Wednesday, I mentioned that I would assume that we get an inside day candle, some type of upper shadow, and that's exactly what we got, battling the 20 EMA very, very nicely. So today we're forming another new black crow, and what that means is it's so far a black candle that opens and closes below the prior day white candles close. Now keep in mind everything is subject to change due to volatility because the markets can do anything at this particular point in time. However, the SPY, the DIA, and the QQQs, those are the main broad ETFs on the market. Those still have not broken their support. In fact, it really does look like a big pennant pattern, triangle pennant looking thing on the ETFs, and I have no idea which direction it's going to break. I will say it could break in either direction, and I think worst case scenario, if we continue to break bearish, we can come down here and do something like that. I think that is like a really, really good chance. Probably the highest probability of what happens is that right there. Lowest probability is this, just like immediately. And then the next probability is probably something like this, and then that, maybe in May, possibly. So that's the SPY. Here's the Qs, QQQs. You can see the Qs today of the ETFs, and I said this on, Wednesday, that the Qs look the most bearish out of the broad market ETFs, like the Q, the SPY, the Dow Jones ETF. So we're breaking below that support. It's all going to be about the end of the day. Will we close below some of these supports or not will be the key to see what happens. Here's the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the DIA, and again, we're just battling that trend line. Let me show you what that trend line is. I'm going to hop over here to a weekly, well, I'll just do a monthly chart. Just give you guys an idea what that candle actually is, that trend line. This trend line is the 2009 low trend line on the Dow. We are battling that right now from the bottom. Interesting. Old support becoming new resistance. Going to be fantastic to see how this plays out. So a lot of you know that I was bearish on the IWMs. I believe those have confirmed bearish. So the IWMs, which is the Russell 2000 ETF, is indeed making lower lows and lower highs. Fact, right? No question about it. It has broken support. It is closed below support. We had candles on the daily, the weekly, the monthly, all looking bearish. It broke below all moving averages on a bigger time frame. Bearish confirmed on the IWM. And I do have a 2016 target of approximately 85. Will we get down there? You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if and when we do. But again, we could do something like this. Could trade up here and then roll over. That's a possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen this week, but 85.03 on the IWM makes a lot of sense. So for the next 2 weeks, this is a spread that a lot of traders are in, either the 105, 106 or the 106, 107 bear call spread. Bear call spread on the IWM. So as long as IWM stays below 105, a lot of traders will be happy on that. And on the flip side, XLE, same thing. So XLE has also closed below all supports, trend lines, volume increase, moving averages are bearish, all that kind of good stuff. Here is the daily moving average on XLE. The 50 EMA is at 58.97, and a lot of traders are in a 61-62 bear call spread expiring in 2 weeks. And I guess we'll see what happens. So I'm not really that stressed about that one unless the XLE closes above the 50 exponential moving average. I do still think energies have lower lows ahead in the near future. It'll be interesting to see what happens. So let's go ahead and check through, run through a lot of stocks really quick. Guys, it has been an absolutely gargantuan last few days. I mean, just everything in the world has been going on. It feels like every single stock we look at is doing something beautiful and fantastic and wondrous. So let's start off with Tesla. I haven't looked at Tesla in a little bit. Tesla was a moneymaker for a few people early this morning, and here's why. So let's look at this really strong support on Tesla, this 181, and I'm going to come over to a weekly chart to look at that. Check out the support on Tesla, ladies and gentlemen, that we're breaking right now. 181.75. We're getting volume. That support has not been closed. We haven't closed below that support in a long time. And in fact, the last time we did was back in there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black candles in a row on a weekly chart. That means 5 weeks we have closed lower than we've opened. This is likely going to be one that I'm waiting for a retest on. I have no idea what earnings is going to do, but here's my thought on earnings is pretty much wrapped up by this little quick sentence right there. If we gap up but we open below 198, I'm bearish. So I'm looking for a retest on Tesla at some point and a rollover for a swing trade. Now, day trades today were pretty successful on Tesla. You can see we had a white candle yesterday thinking that we're going to retest, and then bloop, we gap down today. So here's the 5-minute play on Tesla, and this is one of my favorite plays. As you guys know, I love this little setup. Stock comes down, right? It gaps down, trades up. There's your white candle. Boom, there's the low of the day, and then the stock breaks the low of the day. Bam, low of the day broke at around 8:45 my time, 9:45 Eastern, and trades at this little support right here. So trades to that support. So my thought process was, let's get a limit sell, all right? Because let's get the pullback. Let's short at the low of the day, place the stop there, bam, bam, and that's 3R trade right there on Tesla early this morning. So Tesla doing its thing. Earnings coming up right around the corner, and it'll be interesting to see really what earnings does. Because again, if we trade up and roll over, not going to be specifically bullish on Tesla. Netflix. We do have some traders out there with some bullish positions, including myself. I don't necessarily mind owning shares of Netflix here. But ladies and gentlemen, this $88.58 support is getting broken. And today, so far, is a really pretty new black crow. Again, on Netflix, incredibly strong support level at 88.58. 1, 2, 3, 4 black candles in a row. And so bottom line, what I'm trying to say is on a lot of these tech stocks, if you're not bearish yet, it's not the time. The retest is coming. I don't know how big it'll be. It could be 1 day, it could be 2 days. But if you're swing trading, just go in, look at the daily candles, look at the weekly candles, and ask yourself how many candle colors of the same color have happened previously. And if it's more than 1 or 2, you should probably wait on a retest. So on Netflix, Dean Chance is in a $70 put sale. I got an $80. Both of those expire in 2 weeks. Again, I don't necessarily mind owning shares in Netflix. I don't think it's going to go to zero anytime soon. But at the same level, I would expect a retest. So if I get put to shares, retest, stock comes back up to 88 potentially, and that would be a 10% gain on the share ownership. So we'll have to see on Netflix. But either way, nice little bearish gap on Netflix today, looking relatively bullish. LinkedIn, I said bullish, I mean bearish. LinkedIn, what? LinkedIn, good old LinkedIn. Shout outs to anyone who's a hiring manager for LinkedIn. If you need a new CEO, let me know. I am available. LinkedIn right now, ladies and gentlemen, as far as a business model is concerned, I don't see how they're profitable. I don't think they're relevant. And I think 62.59 is a very easy target for 2016 based on this gap on earnings. They're down 40 2% right now. And no, that's not a split. This stock gapped down, huge volume, gapping below, all kinds of support. And you might say, Jeremy, it looks like the easiest short in the world. Yeah, but it was down so far that it was really hard to short unless you bought some puts, and plus the bid-ask spread was really, really wild. I didn't touch LinkedIn today. Now, maybe that surprises you. I'm not sure, but it was just hard to short. Anything down more than 20% usually gets into an uptick rule anyway, so short traders have a hard time playing it. Regardless, very, very huge gap. LinkedIn, on a just fundamental side, in my opinion, is pretty similar to Twitter, except worse. So I do think that LinkedIn goes lower. I've never really been bullish on LinkedIn, and I've always been surprised how it's so high. LinkedIn's always a fun stock to do straddles and strangles on, over earnings or over just any kind of big news announcements. But at this particular point in time, LinkedIn, big gap down, big volume. Not specifically bullish on LinkedIn. If you have shares, make sure to buy some insurance and protect yourself, because today is indeed, without question, a very strong bearish gap and go. Amazon down another 5%. Now, I know a lot of you might be thinking, hey, Newsom, you know what? Pretty sure that there's no way you said this. Well, yesterday in Transportation Thursday on Amazon, and if you ever want the recording, let me know. This is what I mentioned on Amazon. I thought a gap, and as soon as it would gap, it would trade down. And I think I specifically said it would gap up a little bit and trade down, but I was bearish pretty much from the open on Amazon this morning, based on the fact that the 200 simple moving average acted as a really, really good resistance. And shout out to Dean Chance, who mentioned that one yesterday as well. Here was the analysis yesterday. Watch for quick failure tomorrow of the 200 simple. 1 to 3 day trade possibly. I mean, you could be in this trade up to 3 days. I think Amazon needs to retest a tad more, but I'm relatively bearish on this one for the next 1 to 2 months. So I do think Amazon continues lower. At some point, yes, it will retest a little bit more on a bigger scale, something like this. But this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Amazon looking bearish. If you're playing Amazon bearish, beautiful job. Again, shout outs to Brian Bodie, who is one of my good LA friends. LA friends, I don't know if that's a term. He lives in LA and is a good friend of mine. He mentioned the other day in one of our group chats on Real Life Trading, he asked, should I press the gas down more or pump the brakes a little bit on Amazon? Just with Amazon alone, I've increased my account 38% this month. Brian, awesome job, man. High five to you. That's absolutely fantastic. Google was another one that we had to do a lot of work on. I was giving Brian the love for just a moment because he did a lot of spreads with me. Google, we had Brian and myself and a few others had a 740, 735. I had a 780, 785. But anyway, a lot of us had a bull put spread on Google based on this really bullish gap. The analysis on Google for me was bullish. And I did have a nice little wager on this bull put spread, and said if it does not work, I'd have to wear a Mexican wrestling mask. Well, it did work in a sense. Might have to maybe redo that wager. I'm not sure, but it did work. And what I mean by that is the bull put spread didn't work at all, but the unravel worked really, really well. So let me hop in here to an hourly chart on Google. And the hourly chart, again, the gap up, I was bullish on the gap up. No question about it, ladies and gentlemen. And again, this is a little bit of a nugget for you to take away. If I'm ever in a trade and I say, hey, this is what I think is going to happen. Bam, I'm bullish or I'm bearish, whatever. If I'm directionally biased on a particular trade and it goes the opposite direction, you can rest assured that if I'm trapped, other people are trapped in that trade. Well, on Google, I took a bullish day trade on it. We lost an R. I posted that on our Facebook page. And I did not expect the low of the day of this candle to break. That's why we got into the bull put spread, 785, 780. Didn't expect it to break. Well, it broke. And it broke nicely. Nice! Broke very nice. So it came down. So my thought was, okay, let's count the candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black candles in a row. What should you do? Wait for the retest. So on the retest the next day, the market was gapping up, and I said to myself, if the market gaps up and trades down, which I think that was Wednesday or Tuesday, whatever the third was, if the market gaps up and trades down, I'm going to need to unravel this spread. So my entry to unravel was there. My stop on the 780 put was there, and the target was there for the 780 unravel. So that did work. The unravel worked. Brian, again, great job. Anyone who traded Google, fantastic. So right now, you're out of support on Google, is the takeaway from this message. You're out of support right now, 699.11. Will it bounce? Possibly. Again, not really the time to go bearish on Google at this exact moment in time. because you're at a strong support, you're at a nice little trend line. Can Google bounce? Possibly. Am I going to play it bullish? Maybe. It's going to depend on a gap, right? That's how I'm really going to find out if I'm looking to trade this one, either with a gap or a hammer or some kind of white soldier. I'm looking for a bullish candle here on Google. I don't know if we're going to get it, but if we do, I'll be looking to maybe go bullish on Google. Here's Apple. Apple, ladies and gentlemen, really not doing that much. Do have some traders out there with a covered call and some collar strategies, but Apple looking kind of like a weird little bit of a pattern like that, where I do think still Apple reaches the mid 80s, maybe even high 70s in 2016. That's still kind of my objective, my thought. I want to get into a bear call spread up here on Apple. There's just absolutely no money, so not doing anything with Apple. Let's review some of our swing trades that I talked about recently. Here's Bank of America. Bank of America today, nice little black candle thus far. Moved the stop down to 14.22. That one's working out okay. This one that I talked about Wednesday, Skyworks Solutions. If you got triggered into that one, we talked about that one literally Wednesday in the free real life stock review. So it would have triggered in for you Wednesday or Thursday or today at the high of the day. But anyway, it's down 6.23%. Got a target way down there at 48.65. That'll be a nice winner if that works on Skyworks Solutions. Mobileye, took a symbol MBLY. Still a little bit of a black candle, hoping it makes it to 21.30. Looking to see what that one does at some point in the future. GILD, ladies and gentlemen. This one is a beautiful looking trade. If you're trading GILD, I'll be trading it bearish. Remember, I mentioned that it would likely trade back up and retest that old support and resistance. How do we know that? Well, this is a black candle. Black candle gaps down, bearish retest gap. Boom, boom. There's the retest looking for GILD to potentially continue a little bit lower. And we'll see if we can play it. The other trades that we did have set up, and I did talk about on Wednesday as well in the stock review, did not trigger, at least at this particular point in time. ABT, limit sell 3904, has not triggered. And ticker symbol TSO also. Bearish on TSO, just simply didn't trigger by a few pennies. 82.68 was the trigger. I'll leave it open for a little bit to see what happens, but, we'll figure it out from there. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for watching this real life stock review. Here's something that's really important to me. Just make sure you guys are fully aware of. I know that you're probably thinking, man, these real life traders are just absolutely destroying it. And individually, there are a lot of traders who are doing very, very well. Don't get overzealous or feel like you're missing out on tons and tons of opportunities, because the truth is every one of us is always missing opportunities every single day. There are more trades and more opportunities and more money made every day than we can take advantage of in a lifetime. So the objective of a trader is to find the trades that you like the best, create a trading plan, follow that trading plan, be consistent, and mitigate risk. Ladies and gentlemen, trade your plan. That is a very, very important aspect of trading. Be consistent, be disciplined, and don't worry about missing the trades. There are always trades out there. Guys, there are so many trades today. If there were 100 million Newsoms, we would have made a lot of money today, but there's no way in the world that we still could have taken every opportunity or every trade setup out there. So find the ones that you guys like the most. If you need help finding trades or finding what trades you like, reallifetrading.com. We do teach people for free all about technical analysis. Feel free to visit. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We post 3 free videos a week. Thanks so much for watching. You guys are absolutely rock stars. And until next time, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. See ya.